Hi friends, I recently had the extreme pleasure of taking a family vacation to La Paz, Mexico. We stayed at the Costa Baja Resort. We went to the Balandras to Espiritu Santo, into the city, and I basically fell in love with it all. From the stunning natural beauty to the kind, welcoming people, the delicious food, and the serenity and peacefulness of it. It was truly a magical experience. I'm telling you, at times I felt like I saw slices of heaven. Join me in this video as I take you along. Welcome to the Dress Up Mom. If you're already a subscriber, thank you, and I love you. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and tap the bell for notifications. My husband Doug and I have a grown son and daughter, and we love to take a family vacation in the summer. Since we only do this once a year, we try to go as high-end as we can. Our philosophy is that we would rather stay fewer days, but have those days be a little bit more special and higher end if possible. It's also hard to get more than 5 days in the summer where all of our schedules align, so we usually go for that amount of time. I grew up in San Diego and was fortunate enough in my 20s to travel a lot through Mexico, and it has such a special place in my heart. I haven't been back into the interior of Mexico for quite a while though. With prices rising, we thought that Mexico would be a way that we could sort of stretch our dollar and get a little bit more for our money. Since we don't have that many days, we don't like to go to a place where we have to travel a long distance. So we were looking for a place that was fairly close to us, where we could actually go into the water, that had a resort and a spa, and that wasn't a rowdy kind of a party town. We explained this to Mexican friends of ours, and they told us about La Paz and specifically the Costa Baja region. Honestly, I didn't know very much about it, but once we started researching it, it actually sounded perfect. We live in San Diego, and by flying through Tijuana, we could actually get there in like 90 minutes. It has some of the most beautiful beaches in all of Mexico, and some people even say in all of the world. Jacques Cousteau called it the aquarium of the world. Unlike some of Mexico's better known beach towns, La Paz has purposely not wanted to go for the mass expansion, mass tourism. For this reason, it's relatively unknown to outsiders. We did find that there was one 5-star resort and spa, so we were sold. We made our reservations way back in April so that we could lock in some good rates and had something to look forward to. We decided to go the first week of August, and we knew it would be pretty warm. Now, La Paz is basically a desert town, but it is surrounded by the Sea of Cortes and the Pacific Ocean. So we knew that it would be a pretty dry heat. The trade-off is that the water is really warm that time of year, and we planned on spending a good amount of time in the water. Now, there were lots of obstacles that came up that almost prevented us from making this trip. My cancer diagnosis, several bouts of COVID in our family, Dane lost his passport and had to scurry to get it in time, and Doug's high school reunion was on the East Coast the very day before we were leaving. But thank goodness, destiny prevailed and we were on our way.
Yes.
Hi.
On our way to the border crossing.
We'll see what this is like.
The kids and I took an Uber from our house in San Diego to the Cross Border Express, a pedestrian bridge exclusively for passengers of the Tijuana International Airport that allows passengers to cross the border between Mexico and the United States. We started on the US side and just walked across, super easy, modern, and hassle-free.
We're here.
We soon made our way to the Costa Baja Resort. Now, one of the nice things about staying at a property like this is the concierge staff. I had been communicating with Eleno, who heads up the staff at Costa Baja, and his group of people for like a month before, and they were just outstanding, out of this world great service, where we were able to secure all of our transportation to and from airports, a boat experience that we were looking for, restaurant reservations, and just any information that we needed. Oh, they also made our spa appointments for us. So this was really a great perk, and having all of that set up in advance really made our trip. As we made our way to the resort, we were struck by the stunning beauty of the place. Seeing the desert surrounded by this turquoise sea was unlike anything we'd seen before. It was a short 25-minute drive from the airport to the resort. The resort itself was just gorgeous, not too big and laid out in a great way. Several pools, restaurants, and a private beach. It was also serene and tranquil. I knew instantly that we were in for a great treat. We were greeted with mini bottles of Corona, and Eleno came and introduced himself. The staff at this place was superb, helpful, welcoming, and just lovely. We were able to check in early, which was great. We had adjoining sea view rooms, ours with a king-size bed, and the kids had 2 beds. The rooms weren't super large or extravagant, but were very clean, well appointed, and the beds were super comfy. The views from the balconies were spectacular. I spent a lot of time on the balcony day and night admiring the view. The resort was well suited for families and couples alike and was never too noisy. I mentioned that Doug had his reunion the day before all the way in Massachusetts. He had to get up super early in the morning and take a flight from Hartford to Atlanta to Cabo San Lucas, and then he had a driver pick him up, of course, arranged by Eleno, from Cabo and take him the 2.5-hour drive to La Paz. Quite a long adventure, and we were so happy to see him and all be together. We explored the property a bit and found the picturesque path down to the private beach, which was completely empty, not a soul in sight. The water is the prettiest color, shallow, super clear, and the perfect temperature. I loved it and made it a goal to take a swim there every day.
Beautiful.
The resort has golf carts and vans and transports people free of charge to the marina, beach club, and golf course, which are all super close. One of the bell captains, Luis, took us most of the time. He was such a sweetheart and had a sparkle to him. At the marina, there was a market, several good restaurants, and an ATM. We had a sushi feast at Odayaka the first night. Delicious food and really yummy cocktails. We walked around a bit and got to see the sun set amidst the boats in the beautiful water. We had an early night because the next day we had hired a private boat to take the 4 of us to Balandra Bay, Balandra Beach, and the island Espiritu Santo. Now normally these would usually be 2-day trips, and we knew we only wanted to spend 1 day on a boat but see these 3 things in particular, so Eleno found us somebody who would do that.
This is Eleno. He has been the biggest help ever here at Costa Baja. All right, Dougie, we're getting ready for our boat day.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I am Doug Hayden Cousteau, getting ready to go.
The company that we used was La Paz Baja Tours, and a driver picked us up at the resort and drove us right to where we boarded the boat. Our captain Sergio and first mate Guillermo, aka William, were adorable. They were both born and raised in La Paz and knew the area like the back of their hand. It was also apparent that they loved living here and taking people on boat tours. Now, I do speak pretty good Spanish, which was helpful because their English was a little spotty. Being able to take a private tour was really the way to go because we could do exactly what we wanted. I cannot describe in words how beautiful this all was. It was an explosion of colors and looked like something out of a dream. Decades ago, local environmentalists pushed for the creation of what eventually became the expansive UNESCO Marine World Heritage Protected Area, a designation that aimed to preserve the coast and offshore areas home to such rich biodiversity that is the Sea of Cortes. To keep it pristine, only a small number of people are allowed to visit the beaches and the island each day. We totally felt like we were on a private adventure. We saw very few people all day long, and it was amazing to experience what we did with just the 4 of us.
DJ Jane in the house!
We got to stop, swim, and explore a bit at the Balandras, which was truly special. It is so hard to describe this water. The color is gorgeous and the temperature is perfect. So amazing. We then made our way to the island Espiritu Santo. It has been a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site since 2005 and a national park since 2007. It has impressive scenic beauty, the contrast between sea and desert, volcanic rock formations, numerous virgin beaches, as well as a great quantity of endemic flora and fauna. The only people allowed to live on the island are a small group of local fishermen. It was mating season for the sea lions, so we couldn't swim with them. You can at other times of the year, but we got to see them close up. The alpha males with their harems and private island for rest. Lots of adorable little babies too in a nursery type area. We anchored again and got to do more swimming and snorkeling this time. So much to see all around us. Mabula rays both in the water and jumping on the surface. Schools of brightly colored fish in all shapes and sizes. Coral, trumpet fish, clams, turtle, and Dane even got to see an octopus change colors. All sorts of birds, including lots of hawks and the blue-footed booby, which was cool to see. When we finished swimming, Sergio and William had set up a ceviche feast on the boat, which we devoured.
It's the perfect day.
We then made our way back and stopped for another quick swim at one of the beaches on the island. From start to finish, we were on the boat for about 6 hours, which was perfect for us. We got to see and experience so much in that time. I feel like we were transported to another dimension or something. Definitely memories I will treasure for a lifetime, and I would highly recommend La Paz Baja Tours and Sergio and William in particular. It was an amazing day. It had definitely been an active day too. The following day we treated ourselves to the spa at the resort. While it is a bit small, the treatments were really well done and had a local flavor, including various rituals. I had one called the Liberation Ritual, designed to release negative emotions from the past and present. So relaxing and rejuvenating. I again felt like I was transported elsewhere. I liked it so much, I went back the following day. I get to have my second treatment at this amazing spa. How lucky am I?
I just finished with my massage, my second one. Oh, just like jelly and feels so good. And I always travel with one of my Jennifer Grey's kimonos because they just go everywhere.
That night we had reservations in downtown La Paz at a restaurant called Las Tres Virgenes. It is known for its grilled beef, and we shared the biggest Kobe beef steak I've ever seen. Everything was so yummy, including the margaritas, which I think are quite a bit stronger in Mexico than back home. I think that's what gave me the confidence to bust out Cielito Lindo with the mariachis. After dinner, we walked around, went on the boardwalk or malecon,
and found the La Paz sign. We made a deal with a Mexican family and took pictures of each other's families. Everyone is so friendly, and there were lots of people out cruising, walking, biking on a Tuesday night. The temperature gets really nice after sunset too. The city seemed very safe to me. One of the mistakes that we made is not having enough cash on us. Now, most of the taxis only take cash. There's no Venmo to be found. There are some Ubers, but they're not super easy to get. And also at some of the restaurants, you cannot put the tip onto your credit card, and you need to do that in cash. So we used up the majority of our cash, leaving our tip at the restaurant. And it took us a little while to get transportation home, but we got there.
Reality, vacation reality.
Do not like this.
Your thoughts?
I love it. I do.
Every morning we would have breakfast in Mosaic, a restaurant on the property. The wait staff, and particularly Polo, who took care of us every day, were so sweet. They could make anything we asked for, and all with a smile. We loved the green juice so much they gave us the recipe for it. Now I just need to find a place to buy cactus. I also loved the flan everywhere we went and made it another goal to have a flan a day. We didn't venture too far from the Costa Baja area for the rest of our trip. My daughter Tiana and I went stand-up paddleboarding at the beach club next to the resort.
I'm gonna give this paddleboarding a go. I've tried it once before. It looks like nice and calm. We'll see what happens.
Lots of fun and good exercise. Great conditions too. And we saw more sea life up close in the crystal clear turquoise sea. The four of us went to our private beach again, which we had to ourselves. We went to the Restaurante Cardon atop a hill at the El Cortes Gary Player Signature Golf Club, a gorgeous venue with a delicious, unique menu. We got to try totoaba fish that lives only in the Gulf of California and Mexico. It was a super tasty whitefish. Everything we ordered was out of this world. Just before we had our dessert, the sun was setting, and it was so lovely to see the view from atop the hill. This would be such an amazing place to have a wedding. It was a wonderful way to end our last night of vacation. All good things must come to an end, and after one final dip in the gorgeous turquoise sea, we made our way to the marina for a lunch, and then it was time to head back to the airport. But not before we did our recap of the best parts of the trip, which has now become a bit of a ritual for us.
Well, I think the boat was unbelievable. I think a lot of people are going to talk about the boat. For me, I was so proud of my wife when she sang in the song that with the mariachis playing. It was very, very memorable. And also, Danny took some pictures, which was like right out of a magazine. The sun was so perfect, but we went up on top and had a fabulous dinner. So, but the people were wonderful. I enjoyed the whole experience, and I'm glad that I had ventured out.
Woo!
Yes.
Miss Marie.
I think just like the color of the water and how it kind of just like glowed. And when I'm thinking back, I think that's what I'm gonna think of, how it like glowed this turquoise color. It was beautiful. And I'd never really been snorkeling like that before, so I think that was a really cool experience, the snorkeling on the boat. And I loved our little beach, our private beach right by us, and we've gotten there every day.
Yeah.
So I think it was good.
Excellent. Dane, Hayden.
I had a really good time. I would say the boat was my favorite, but then I really like the massages too. I've never been so like comatose after a massage. That felt so nice. That will stand out, but everything was so great. I had an awesome time. But the boat and snorkeling, seeing an enormous octopus.
Yeah.
Incredible.
There's one with the water.
One with the water.
Oh, it just reminded me of how much I love Mexico in general and the people, and how much I missed traveling over here and having
the ability to take my family to here. And like Gianna said, I think it's just the colors of everything. Just like the blue of the water, the different blues of the water juxtaposed with the mountains and the orange, and just the sensory overload was incredible. The flan, we had some great flan. It was like a flan a day. And of course, just the time with everybody, I just cherish it and just think about it all year long.
Have you been to La Paz and did you fall in love with it like I did? If you haven't been, did this maybe inspire you to make a trip there? Again, I would highly recommend everything we did and saw. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much to everybody we encountered on this trip who made it such a special experience. I am treasuring it and thinking about it all year until we can take our next summer family vacation. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Until next time, have fun and dress it up a little.